What's up, YouTube? Today I'm going to be reading some random funny stories I found while on Reddit. I think today I'm just going to fish on my house and maybe start some farms. Feel free to email me some of your stories. I'll read them anonymously, but I just think that'd be a lot of fun. Anyways, let's get into it. The first story is called Aite for not waking up a tourist who overslept and missed the day trip she paid for. Hi, guys. I'm 21F, a Bulgarian tour guide who accompanies groups to Sicily. On a recent trip, one woman who was traveling alone, mid-30s, was consistently oversleeping. The first day after we arrived, we had a day trip to Etna and Taormina, for which we depart at 8 a.m., as we do all other day tours. I make sure that all tourists are informed of the departure times on the bus the day before, and they also have my number to call in case they forget, so I can remind them. They also all have printed out pamphlets with the schedule made by the travel agency that I hand out that has the time for departure on it. All of the group was on time except one woman. She was late by 10 minutes, which, okay, maybe she got caught up in something and was late. I excused it, then mentioned to the whole bus and the mic that I do not tolerate lateness beyond 15 minutes at most in case of emergency like a forgotten possession, and that I must always be called and informed in case someone is running late. Trip went by okay otherwise. The next day, this same tourist was late again by 25 minutes, almost an entire half hour. I called her twice to no answer, and we were just about to leave without her when she came out running and got on the bus. She got lucky, as the receptionist of the hotel asked me about a missing piece of info on the rooming list and earned her some time. I reminded everyone again that I will not be waiting anymore for late tourists in the morning, and waking up on time is their responsibility. When we came back that evening, she asked me if I could make sure to wake her up on time. I reminded her a third time that I'm not responsible for waking people up. Everyone gets a printed itinerary with departure times, and I announce everything the day before. She kept saying, no, just knock on my door if I'm not out by 8:15. And I kept repeating, I really can't do that for everyone. Please set an alarm. Well, on the day we were visiting Syracuse, she didn't show up. I waited 15 minutes after the supposed departure time, called her twice to no response, then left with the bus and the rest of the group. She called me in a panic about an hour later, asking where we were. I explained the situation calmly. She got angry and said that I had one job and that I cheated her out of the money she paid to go on that day trip. She missed the whole day trip and was furious the next day. Later, she told the rest of the group that I abandoned her and also called my agency, leaving a bad review about me. Ada for not personally waking up a grown woman despite warning her multiple times. I wouldn't. Edit. I talked to my manager today. I was nervous at first because I was already tired of this whole shenanigan and didn't want to spend ages defending myself, so I went to him first and explained the situation before he approached me. He told me, word for word, "Hun, I deleted that BS from my email as soon as I read it. LOL, an icon. They'll remove the bad review." Our second story is called, My boyfriend threatened to break up with me on a Harry Potter marathon night that I planned because he was embarrassed and would rather drink at the club. 32M, 29F. Yesterday was his birthday. We both are Harry Potter fans, but I'm more into it, and he likes golfing and cars more than I do. Yesterday morning, I asked him if he wanted to go out somewhere, and I told him that I'm planning on a surprise tonight. He didn't ask anything further and left for work. During the evening, I had set the sofas, spread the blankets, arranged the coffee table, fluffed all the pillows, warmed up the place. I made pizza at home for the first time and made smoothies. I brought all kinds of sweets and made mini Harry Potter, like candies with them. I had got this idea from those reels and had always told him that I wanted to try it out. He didn't see my message till around 9:30 and arrived at 10. I didn't mind it much, but told him that I had everything prepared and that we could snuggled up and watch together. He told me he was tired and didn't want to do it, so I tried requesting him to sit with me for at least one movie. He somehow agreed. He ate the pizza but didn't try any of those mini candied structures I made, and then when we were comfortable enough, the broomstick scene comes. And I tell him how I used to crush on Draco as a kid. He suddenly got up from there, and I nearly hit my head on the sofa board. He told me I was embarrassing to still be obsessing over Harry Potter as an adult, that his friends' girlfriends are more mature than me and are actually planning their lives ahead. I didn't know how me liking this related to that because I barely ever talked to him about Harry Potter much before. He just walked away after that, and I let him. When I don't come back to sleep, he tells me I have horrible taste for even crushing on Tom Felton and that he looks like a sulking cow now. What hurt me most, that he didn't even taste the sweets I made or even lie down with me for at least an hour. I would have been okay to even change the movie or shut it down. And when I tried suggesting, he just kept shaking his head. He told me to fix my ways before he gets fed up and leaves me for good. And that he left a real good offer of drinking at the bar with his friends. It's morning and I haven't talked to him yet. He just left without even looking at me. I might be at fault here for not taking his interest into much consideration. I just thought we would like it because I would show him stuff like that and he always admired it much. I feel kind of hurt. The pizza I made was also his favorite, but he didn't seem to show much for it. I don't know. I may be overreacting. I don't know if it's right for me to love this series anymore. It had been a part of my childhood, and I grew up with it. We have been together for 3 years now. TLDR, my boyfriend of 3 years, ruined movie marathon night, and I feel hurt. Our third story is pretty random, and I thought it was pretty crazy when reading it. It's called I-25F. Begged my partner, 28M, for an open relationship 8 months in. He left. I-25F begged for an open relationship 8 months in. He leaves me. 8 months ago, I-25F asked my partner, 28M, for an open relationship as I got bored with him. Nothing wrong, but he just didn't excite me much. And he agreed, but he proceeded to tell me there's a catch. If he catches feelings for a partner, he's going to leave me for her. And that's exactly what happened. And I want him back in my arms. He left me for his new partner, 28 to 29-ish F. What can I do to win the love of my life back? Update 1. Update. I-25F begged for an open relationship. 8 months in, he leaves me. Probably nobody asked for this, but here's an update. I was kicked out of his house last Sunday. That's 6 days now. And I excruciatingly miss him. I will do anything to get him to return to me. But he looks happy on social media with his new partner that I'm pretty sure he was cheating on me with. Anyways, I tried calling him. No answer. I saw him in public. And he pretended not even know who the fuck I was. He won't acknowledge my existence. So I went to our former place just to talk. And things got hostile. His new GF hates me for some reason. I didn't even know her. And she proceeded to try and attack me while he tried to split us up and get me out the door. When he had his back turned, she maced me. And now he's trying to file a restraining order on me. The hell did I do wrong? She attacked me and pepper sprayed me. How can I convince him he's dating a psychopath? Update 2. My ex followed through with his restraining order on me. This will probably be the last update. The restraining order has been filled, and I am not allowed within 100 feet of my ex Harry and his new GF Jess. I'm planning to move back to my home in Arizona and start over. They're happy, and I just want to find peace with myself. Thanks for everyone's advice and opinions. Yes, I was already in therapy, and I am still in therapy. Please, anyone my age or younger, listen to my advice. TikTok is not cool. Please delete it. It's done me nothing but harm, and other people's stupidity can really poison your minds. In living proof. Thank you. Take care. Our final story today is a longer one. You'll probably be a fan of it if you've seen The Godfather. It's called My Closest Encounter with the Mafia, Pittsburgh, PA. For context, I am referencing the famous tweet that blew up a few years ago and adding my own encounter. My closest encounter with the Mafia is I went to a starkly empty pizza place in Rhode Island once. They seemed utterly confused that I wanted a pizza. It took 45 minutes to make. They gave it to me for free. And it was the best pizza I've ever had. Now, here's my story. I'm a Chicago Cubs fan, but have lived in the Pittsburgh, PA area all my life. Earlier this season, when the Pirates were in Chicago, I decided to go to a sports bar to watch the game, specifically one I've driven past a bunch but never given a try. Pittsburgh Sports Bar in Castle Shannon, I went in there about 5 to 10 minutes before first pitch in my Cubs gear, and there was one woman tending the bar with an old couple sitting at the end of the bar. They both stared at me as I came in as if I was an alien. Figured it was because I was wearing opposing team's gear. No greeting or anything. I sat myself down and just waited for the game to start. But I realized that the old couple and bartender were deep in conversation, and they were fixated on each other. I walked up to the bar to try and order food. There were no menus, napkins, salt, pepper, anything on the table indicating there was food served there. As I started talking to the bartender, I noticed there was no bottles, taps, or any alcohol behind the bar at all. It was just a bunch of random Pittsburgh sports memorabilia. Very random things, too. Nothing really followed a theme. As well as a bunch of signs saying things similar to, if you're easily offended, get out, and the like. When I was talking to the bartender, the old couple was just staring at me blankly. She told me she'd be right back out with the menu, and she was in the back room for a good 10 minutes or so before bringing me a menu. Really odd. But I ordered anyway. I ended up getting a pizza slice and a wing and fry basket combo. It was ridiculously cheap. I paid like $6 for all of it. And the pizza slice was massive. There were a dozen huge wings, and the basket of fries was giant. Felt like anywhere else. This would have costed well over $20. The food was done in just a few minutes, and it was brought out to me by the bartender. What's weird is she went into the kitchen, or what I presume to be the kitchen, to seemingly cook it herself. I got a glimpse of the kitchen when she opened the door, and it was almost completely empty. There were no cooks, no sounds of ovens or fryers or anything. The wings were really, really good. So were the fries. Easily the best wings and fries I've ever had. The pizza was immaculate as well. It was almost too good. As soon as I got my food, more people started coming in. Some very strange individuals too. I was watching the game by this point, but would frequently side-eye and observe what was going on. I was at the table closest to the door and by the biggest TV, but everyone else that came in sat at the very end of the bar, as far away from me as possible. Them, the old couple, and the bartender just were nonstop talking and talking very quietly. I could not make out what they were saying. They all looked like statues. Never changed facial expressions even when talking. Completely straight faces. None of them ever ordered anything at all. It was more like a social than anything. That's weird enough, but some of the other stranger actions I noticed are as follows. There was not a single person wearing any sort of Pittsburgh sports gear. All the most bland, boring outfits imaginable. It was a Saturday, 2 p.m. game. There should have been plenty of Pirates fans watching the game and getting drunk with their buddies, but nope, not one. Whenever the Pirates scored or did anything good, there was not a reaction from anybody. No cheers, no groans. It's like the game wasn't even on. Yet they were all glued to the screens watching it while having these conversations with the bartender. The man from the old couple was the strangest. Every 5 minutes or so, he would walk over to the video slot machine right by my table and put in a $20 bill and bet it all at once, losing every single time. He did this for probably an hour and a half. Towards the end of the game, he proceeded to walk over to the TouchTunes machine, put in a $20 bill, and put on the strangest, most vintage-sounding dance music I've ever heard. Like, not any big names at all. Just very random. Like a hole-in-the-wall ice cream social playlist of the most 1930s underground songs possible. For whatever reason, they had it so the TouchTunes took over the TV audio so I could no longer hear the game. I guess it was a way to drive me out of there. Finally, after a good half hour or so, the game ended, and the TouchTunes playlist was still going. It had been about 3 hours since I placed my order. The bartender never came to check in on me, nor give me my check. I went up to ask for the check myself, and she looked a little confused. Before giving me my check, she went over to the group of 5 to 6 people sitting at the end of the bar, said something to them, and they all proceeded to get up and walk out the back door together. She went back to the kitchen, came out a few minutes later with my check, and I paid. I then left. I was already kind of uneasy and started to feel that something was off. And when I left, one of the strange people at the end of the bar was outside the door and tried to strike up a conversation about Chicago or whatever. But I just mumbled a vague answer and got in my car and got out of there. Did I walk in on a cult? A genuine mafia area? Drug ring? Edit. So based on some comments, what seems likely is I walked into the wrong spot, but thought it was the legit Pittsburgh sports bar with good reviews. Since it's a generic name, I could have been directed on maps to another sports bar close by that is actually a front, and just assumed it was the legit Pittsburgh sports bar.